Hello and welcome. This is a little bit of a sort of laid-back chat, I guess. It's been a while. Let's be fair. You know what's really annoying? I actually went through everything that I'm probably about to cover yesterday, but in a very, very annoying set of circumstances. It basically was the latest in a long, long line of silly things occurring that, yeah. So, okay, let's try and ramp up exactly how things have been going. Okay, so, after the last video, which was, I think, like May the 3rd, May the 4th, something like that, I had every intention of recording a video the very next day. I knew that it would probably end up being that day or the one after, but I was set. I was going to do it. And that didn't work out because that day, like the next morning, my wife basically said that, you know, she's got a migraine coming on. She wasn't well at all. Ended up quitting work early and just going to sleep, and then slept for like 9 hours just in the middle of the day. Woke up, drank some water, was up and around for about 20 minutes, and then went straight back to bed for another like 10 or 11 hours or something. So I was looking after Rowan all of that day. The next day, she still wasn't feeling 100%. So again, I'm just looking after Rowan and doing my own thing. You know, and keeping him entertained because he's home all the time now because schools are all off and all that sort of thing. And that entire situation with her not feeling well, basically went on for like 3 days. Then no sooner had she sort of recovered from it, than I then ended up having like massive headaches, and like my back was wrecked. I had like 2 hours of sleep through the night because I just couldn't shut off my brain. It started getting really warm and awful. I was out for another 3 days. And then no sooner had I gotten better than she fell down with it again, and she had another bout of migraines and headaches. And that basically brought us up to maybe 3 days ago, which was fun. You know, like, we've got all these things that we're trying to do and trying to keep the boy entertained, and neither of us are doing very well. And then at the end of all of this, like, stress just got to me. I've been sticking whole foods plant-based for the most part. There's been some little points where I've eaten things that I shouldn't have eaten, like I had a little bit of cheese on a vegan burger, on an Impossible burger, just because it was there and I really just wanted to have a cheeseburger as opposed to a normal hamburger, you know. And then at the end of all of this, like 3-4 days ago, I basically just like had a mental break and just needed a day. So I stuck with whole foods plant-based for lunch. For dinner, we ordered pizza. I ate pizza. I think it had something like sausage, ground up sausage on it or something like that. I can't remember now. And then, like, afterwards, the next day, I was back on everything. Not the day immediately after that, but the one after. So 2 days later. So was it yesterday? When was it? Was it yesterday? What's today? Today's Thursday. So it wasn't yesterday. It was the day before yesterday. So Tuesday, I want to say. I'm not entirely 100% on exactly when times are and dates and things like that. Like it's all sort of blending together. But I do remember Tuesday, we had an appointment with Rowan. We had to take my son, my 3-year-old, to the hospital for a scan. Now, long and short of it, I don't know whether or not I've explained it previously or not. Rowan was born with only one kidney. It's not like a serious problem or anything like that, but the one that he does have is malformed. So at some point he's going to need a kidney transplant, but no one knows. It could be 8 months from now, it could be 8 years from now, it could be 80 years from now. No one knows. We just have to take him along every now and again, like once a year, once every 2 years, something like that, and have a sonograph, an ultrasound done, and maybe an X-ray with contrast dye to see what's going on and see how everything's being handled, whether or not everything's working. I usually sort of like, have a quick check of nappies and make sure that everything's like, the right colour for everything. Make sure that he's getting more than enough water. Obviously, like a fairly healthy diet. No, don't get me wrong. He still has chicken nuggets every now and again because he's not whole foods plant-based. But, for the most part, we try and give him like loads of vegetables, just a tiny little bit of cheese, tiny little bit of meat, not great amounts of candy and that sort of thing. And for the most part, he's absolutely fine. He can do everything. He certainly doesn't seem like he's got any problems. But anyway, Tuesday, we were meant to take him along for this check. Now, when I had booked this checkup back in January, December, something like that, there was a bit of a wait on, and they booked it for the 16th of March. Now, we're obviously well past 16th of March. 17th of March, because it was meant to be my birthday. 17th of March was the day that it was meant to be. 16th of March, because obviously we're very well beyond that. 16th of March, I got a phone call from the department at the hospital that we'd been told to go to and had made this appointment with, saying, look, we need to reschedule because of the coronavirus outbreak that is just starting to get rolling. Obviously, the hospital is on very, very strict orders. Things like this we need to delay because we're trying to set up all the infrastructure and get everything sorted so that if we get hit badly by this pandemic, then we can, respond to it adequately and appropriately. I said, that's absolutely fine. When? 9th or the 10th of May, whatever it was, like Tuesday, just gone. And we said, yeah, okay, fine. Okay, just to confirm exactly where is it that we need to go. Here, Standort Mitte. Right, okay, cool. And exactly what time? 10 a.m. Okay, gotcha. So we went. Standort Mitte is basically around about, I want to say around about 20 minutes train ride and then 10 minutes of walk away, so about half an hour. So we set off at 9 a.m. and, we had the masks and everything like that, rode the train, walked through, found the place. Actually finding the department was a nightmare because nothing is signposted properly at this one place. It certainly wasn't like a thing that I could find my way around. Eventually found the nephrology department, which is the people who deal with kidneys and renal function and that sort of thing, and waited in a queue to see them because the office that they had could only have one person in thanks to the 2-meter distancing rules, and there was already a couple of people there. So eventually, around about 10:15, even though I joined the queue at like 10:45, I got seen. And they said, okay, what seems to be the trouble? I said, look, I've got an appointment for my son. We're here. We just need a scan doing. What do you mean you're here? Like, we don't take children here. Who told you to come here? These people who I called. Oh, oh, okay. Well, I'll give them a call. So the nurse called them, and then came back to me after about 5-10 minutes and said, look, okay, these people said that you were meant to be there at this hospital in Wedding, which is about half an hour away if you rush from where we currently were. You need to be there in half an hour because you had an appointment at 10. They are adamant that they told you there 6 months ago. But you need to get over there. I've convinced them to let you in. So you need to get over there right away. You need to hurry. I was like, oh, well, okay, that's perfectly fine, understandable, great, thank you very much. I know that they told me here because I actually plugged it into the calendar app, but you know, whatever, absolutely fine. Sometimes these things happen. Gone outside the hospital, ran to the trains, used the underground, used the U-Bahn, and got there. No time to spare. I mean, literally we got there the second that we were able to. And that was half an hour. We ran. When we got there, we found that the nephrology department, the kids' nephrology department, is in what's labelled as building number 8. The main entrance that we got in, building number 1, building number 16. So we had to run as far as we could all the way to the opposite side of the campus of this hospital. And we are talking a big campus. I don't know if do you remember the opening of House, where it's got the sort of the helicopter shot of Princeton Plainsboro? That entire hospital sort of campus area was probably about a quarter of the size. Like you would have 4 of those in the size of this place. We walked for about 5-10 minutes to get to the end of it, to building 8. And that's literally a couple of buildings along. It was crazy how big and open and wide this hospital was. I'm used to hospitals in the UK where it's like, here is a building. This is the hospital. This was like, oh, here's this building, here's this building, there's a big gap in there. And, you know, there's 16 buildings that all have individual hospital entrances, like ambulance entrances, ambulance parkways. This is just like their thing. This is the hospital that we're meant to be at. So we got to the end of it. The main door is blocked off. It's locked. It's got a sign out front saying, because of coronavirus, you need to go around here. So we went around the opposite side of the building, the back of the building now, and through this one door, and there was a nurse there. And she said, right, okay, what's the emergency? I said, there is no emergency. We've got an appointment for my son to have a scan. We were sent here. Now we're running late. We don't know where we're meant to be. This doesn't look like the part. This looks more like an actual, sort of walking wounded entrance. You know, what I would call like an A&E department. Accident and emergency department. She said, oh, okay, well, I'll try and help you out. Okay, give me the child's ID card, proving that they've got like insurance and that sort of thing. Okay, here you go. So she took it and she called through to various departments, brought it back and said, right, okay, I know where you're meant to be for this scan, come with me. And marched us through the hospital, basically diagonally from where we were. And this is the point that really infuriates me. Got to a big main corridor, like a big thoroughfare that you can see goes on for a very, very long distance. And we come out of this door, we're in this corridor that goes on forever, it looks like. It goes on about the entire length of where we just walked from. And she goes, there, points down the corridor, and then just about faces and leaves. and goes through a staff-only door that's locked by a security card. So now me, Saguta, and Rowan are stood in the middle of this corridor, having been told down that way, basically, and no idea where we are. So we look around, we can't see any obvious signs. There's nothing about like children's area or nephrology or anything like that. There's nothing about scanning or, you know, any other sort of place that you would associate with internal medicine. So we start walking, and we're walking really slowly, checking every single door, checking every single sign. Ended up at the very, very end of this corridor, like to the first wall that we'd ever come to in this corridor, after walking for about 10 minutes. And there's a sign for nephrology and inneren medicine, or inner medicine, which is like internal stuff, you know, like your kidneys and your liver and all of that. I was like, right, okay. So I wandered around there. I hunted around. I finally found a nurse. I said, look, I really need your help here. Where am I meant to be? Is this the place that I'm meant to be? Of course, it's now getting on for 2 hours since we were meant to be at the appointment. We still haven't been able to actually get anywhere. And she says, oh, okay, let me call someone. So she goes through my phone, finds the number that called me on the 16th of March to reschedule, rings them and says, right, okay, whereabouts are we meant to be? I've got these people here. They're completely and totally lost. No one's helping them. Where do we go? Up this way. Right, okay. You come with me. And we marched all the way back to where the woman had dropped us off, past where the woman had dropped us off, and to a small nondescript office that looked like the lights were off. And that was apparently where we were meant to be. So when she'd said down that way, she actually meant over there. Behind you. Perfect, thanks. So we get in there, and Rowan is obviously now getting very annoyed, as a child will do when you stop them from playing and try and get them seated for 2 hours. He's very, very bored. I went in, I said, right, okay, look, we're here for this appointment. God knows what is meant to be going on. Just help me out, please. Right, okay, do you have the insurance card saying that he's, you know, on the National Health Service and not private? Yes, here you go. Card didn't work. Try it again. No, card didn't work. Looks like this might be an old card. Like, have you had another one issued since? Oh, God, really? Yes. We had 2 issued. I thought this was the up-to-date one. Okay, fair enough. What do we do? Because they've obviously got proof that he's, you know, on part of this scheme. I've got my card as well and all of this. And they said, well, we're going to have to reschedule. Oh, really? Do we really have to reschedule? Rowan is now completely melting down. I am annoyed because I've now got, like, from all of this walking and route marching and stuff, I've now got a massive blister on the back of my heel that feels like it's burst. I'm like, do we really have to do this? At which point, a different nurse came over, picked up the card, waved it in my face, and very loudly, it must be said, in German, "See this? Wrong card, no money," and slapped it down on front of the in front of me on the counter. And that didn't do anything to improve my mood either. Nor did it improve my mood when the first nurse that I was talking to, who was actually being vaguely helpful, said that the very first appointment they can get us would be the 11th of June. Yeah, I was not a happy bunny, but now we've got an appointment for the 11th of June. So after all of this, we ended up bundling out of the hospital. Now we know exactly where we need to go. We know exactly what we need to bring, and all of these other things that people neglected to tell us, even though we'd asked if there was anything we needed to bring, or, you know, and confirmed where we needed to go. And, you know, sort of tried to entertain Rowan as much as we possibly could, got the train, got back. I'll hold my hand up here and be completely honest with you. Sigurd took Rowan home, and I went to McDonald's for food for us all. Went through all of that rigmarole as well, you know, because they only allow one person in at any one time. Bought a bunch of stuff. Again, hold my hand up. I did order a cheeseburger, and was it a Big Mac? Yes, I ordered a Big Mac. Brought it all back to the house and just popped it down. Now, what's the reason that I ordered a Big Mac as opposed to the vegan burger that they do? Because they weren't offering the vegan burger. Because there's like one cook and one person working out front on the tills. And if I'd done that, then it would have shut them basically for like way longer than ordering 2.5 people's worth of food would anyway. So brought that home, we ate it, put Rowan down for a sleep. And then just every possible thing that could possibly go wrong after that point over yesterday and today has. Like, every moment of annoyance that there could possibly be has occurred. I thought, oh, right, okay, we're sitting down, we're set for a little while, we've done all of the running around, so I peeled off my sock and you know, assessed the damage. It's not that bad, it's like a tiny little blister, but when you're walking on it, it still feels pretty bad. And I thought, right, I've got some time, I'll do some painting. Pulled out the drawer of all of my work in progress stuff, and someone has jarred it and played with things that are in it and broken half of the stuff that's in there. So I ended up having to fix all of the things before I could continue with anything, which is not a job that I want to be doing. When I've finished a miniature, I like it to be finished and not have to go back and fix it again. So I did all of that and then tried painting a little bit. Didn't get much time to paint because Rowan woke up, and then, you know, sort of dealing with him and doing the usual thing of playing with him and keeping him entertained and all of that sort of thing. And I felt really bad that I just subjected him to all of this sitting in a pushchair and not doing anything. So I had to, you know, really come up with something. So we ended up drawing and doodling and playing with paints and all sorts of things. We had a whale of a time the last couple of days, but, you know. And then on the night time, I'm just sort of like, last night I think it was, because, you know, I couldn't face it the day before. Last night, after even more things have gone wrong and stuff's gotten broken during the day and people have dropped stuff, and I ended up like getting my toes stamped on and head butted in the testicles. Because, you know, when you've got a 3-year-old running around and their head is exactly the wrong height, you know, they tend to charge in with no knowledge of exactly how solid their foreheads are, which is really, you know, it's not great. So yeah, last night I sat down, I recorded a half an hour vlog. I know this one's getting up towards that, but it's because I'm kind of recounting exactly the same things. So I recorded a half an hour video of, you know, just talking about everything, talking through all of this same stuff, going over like what I'd eaten, and talking about like, you know, like how I'd been feeling the entire time and this, that, and the other. And it was like the 5th attempt at recording the video, because I kept on getting interrupted by Rowan crying, or the cats like playing with the microphone and wrecking the sound and pulling the microphone out. You know, the cats fighting in the middle of the corridor, all sorts of various different things. And I clicked stop on the recording, and and it flashed up saying, oh, the internal memory of your phone is full. And I was like, but that makes no sense because I'm recording to the SD card, which is like a 64 gigabyte SD card. It should have plenty of room. No. It's been recording to the internal memory, and there wasn't that much. You need to clear everything up. So I did. I cleared out a bunch of stuff and set the video uploading to YouTube. And after around about half an hour, I checked my phone to see how it was getting on, and it was about, what was it? I think it was like 68% of the way through, and it was on 16% battery. I was like, oh, I should probably plug that in quite soon. And as I was looking at it, as I, 16% battery, oh, I should probably plug that in. The phone blasted up the Samsung logo and turned itself off. And that made me go, no. Plugged it in, clicked the power button, 0%. 5 minutes later, 2%. Right, okay. Another 5 minutes later, 4%. Turned it on, put in my codes and all of that, and opened up the YouTube app. And it said, oh, it's fine. We resumed where it had left off. Oh, brilliant. Amazing. Okay, fine. Another half hour later, I checked it. No notification that it's uploading anymore. Oh, brilliant. Okay, well, I'll do the parts on YouTube that I need to do. So I clicked into YouTube Studio, which is where you do all of your titling and making videos live and all of that. And it said, video has failed to upload, possible file corruption. And the only option that I had was delete the video. So I did, and I tried uploading it again. Same thing, got all the way through, took about an hour, and then it popped up and said, corrupted, can't read it, delete it. Great, okay. So I pulled the video from my phone onto the laptop, tried opening it, nope, it's a corrupted file. Great. Tried fixing it in about 3 different ways, which includes plugging it into video editing software, changing the file type and then opening it with a media player called VLC, a whole bunch of different things. Nothing worked, it's corrupted. So the full half-hour vlog that I recorded last night that took me up until 2 a.m. to get to the point of going, this isn't working, it's dead, and I just binned the entire thing, wrote a post on the Facebook page and put that up, and now I'm doing this video now. Oh yeah, and while I was in the middle of all of that, my ankle at the point where the blister was started really hurting, and I didn't know what was going on. So I looked down, and there was an ant on the skin of where my wound is, just like hanging out. I'm like, how is there an ant? Like, so I, got rid of it basically. It's only the one ant. It's not an infestation or anything, but still, it wasn't a very pleasant surprise. Let's put it that way. Especially on an open wound. Like, come on, like, really? Anyway, all of that is fine and bluff. And then today has just been more of the same, of like ridiculous things going wrong and happening in stupid ways that have just, it's beyond belief. Honestly, it really is. But it's not even like anything memorable today. It's just like, like a thing not going well, or like a laptop closing itself off, or you start painting and then your light dies within like 3 seconds of turning it on, or all of that good stuff. So there you go. And that brings us up to today, pretty much. So I've had my little grumble rant sort of thing. I hope you get some form of Schadenfreude at the very, very least. Yeah, I don't know. Life, eh? It's wonderful. It's amazing. I'm just trying to survive the same as everyone else. But you know, it wouldn't be life if it was easy, would it? Nothing worth doing is ever easy. So, yeah, well. Tomorrow's going to be Friday. It's all going to be good. It's all going to be fine. It's all going to be plain sailing. Starting Monday, Sigurd is off work. She's got a fair amount of time off. It's not furlough or anything like that. It's just she's got a lot of time at work in holidays and things like that, and she figured she'd just use them rather than anything else, because then it's still a little bit more cash coming in than furlough or anything like that. So you know, why not? Might as well. Might not be going anywhere for a little while, you know. So she's got some time to be in the house and be with me and Rowan, and we can, you know, sort of ease off a little bit, I guess, on various different things. Maybe we can look into having like a day off each, you know, like she gets to have an entire full day of just doing whatever without having to worry about Rowan or the cats. I get to do likewise. I don't know. We shall see. It's a thing to discuss. Yeah, you know, like, hopefully it means that I'll be able to devote a little bit more time to cooking and coming up with stuff and just like following along with the things that I should be doing in order to lose weight. Because at the minute, I'm kind of maintaining. I have been for a while. Even with like days off and sticking to things and then having another day off and sticking to things, or having a little bit of a cheat, like putting some cheese on a burger or something like that, I've basically been maintaining the same level for a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months at this rate. So it's not awful, let's say, but it could definitely be better, and I would like it to be better. A thing that I think is definitely working against me is I can't remember whether or not I've actually like fully gone into it, but basically I have suspicions that I have a sort of like I'm not neurotypical, as they call it. I'm not like, my brain doesn't work the same way as everyone else's. These suspicions have been rising for a little while, and basically the more research I do into the particular field that I think is what is wrong with me, what is, you know, part of my life, the more that I'm convinced that it's right. You know, I'm going in with a fairly open mind with regards to all of this, and it keeps coming back to the same sort of thing, and every single thing that I read about it just rings more and more true. The side effect of that is basically that I get fixated on stuff and go whole hog into this one thing and devote all my time and energy into it. And then at some nebulous point, I just like, sorry, it just come up with the thing about the the maximum video file size reached, so I'm not sure how much of that I got. Basically, I fixate on one thing, or I fixate on something and go at it with zeal and determination for an amount of time, and then at some nebulous point, I fall out of love with it. I like switch. I devote my time and energy into something else completely different, and that just keeps happening again and again and again and again and again. And I keep going through these various different phases again and again and again, where I do a thing and then I switch and find myself doing this other thing and not the thing that I started before. And I'm fairly certain I've had one of those switches occur. Like I'm fairly certain it's been a thing where I've been fixated on doing the videos, and I've been really like down to it on doing them, like day after day after day after day, one video a day, every single day for like nearly 6, 7, 8 months, or you know, whatever it was. And then I just hit a point where I kind of burned out and things went a little bit wrong, and then I kind of devoted my time to other stuff and went through a couple of little transition points, and now I'm massively fixated. And I know that I'm massively fixated because I can't stop thinking about it, or like doing it, or talking about it. I'm massively fixated on my painting and stuff, and you know, all the models that I make. So I'm trying to work with that and come up with a way that I can make videos at the same time, when all that I want to do, all that my brain is screaming at me to do, is to devote time to that, as opposed to making videos. Like I don't have that much time to myself. If I put Rowan to bed at 9 p.m. and, you know, say that I finish up all of the extra little chores and stuff like that by 9:30, if I start recording a video then, and I go into it with, like, you know, the stuff that I usually do, like put graphics in it, make sure that the audio levels are sort of okay, record in the kitchen, so I do the setup with tripod and lights and this, that and the other, then bring it all back in here, edit it, upload it, do all the extra admin stuff along with it. If I do all of that, that means that I finally get to bed around about 2 a.m. Maybe if I really, really push it and I record a short video and don't do as much, 1 a.m. But obviously trying to get up at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning on 6 hours of sleep is not great. It's not wonderful. Whereas if I spend that time relaxing and doing things that I find stimulating and you know, like, for want of a better word, fun, and what is actively in my interests and running through my head 100% of the time every single day, if I do that instead, that's 2 or 3 hours that I get to engage with a hobby and do something that I don't usually get. You know, trying to find time in the middle of the day or the beginning of the day, or you know, while Rowan's running around and stuff, it doesn't really come up, because the hobby that I have is very much not perfectly safe to be around small children or animals. I have to, you know, sort of be very, very careful about tools. Paints can obviously get opened and spilled. They're very delicate pieces of plastic and resin and all sorts of things. Like some of my tools and equipment is actually carcinogenic if consumed, so I have to really like watch out for all of it. And that just, it all just sort of works together to be this thing where if I want to do a thing at the end of the day, or if I want to do something that's extracurricular, like make videos or paint or sculpt or go for a run or like go for a walk outside on my own in the peace and quiet, if I want to go to a store on my own and things like that, I don't really have the time to do multiple things. I have to pick one and go with that. It might be that I have to figure out a schedule and just stick to that schedule of like, I do a video today, I do a paint, I do a video, I do a paint, I do a video, a paint, a shop, a video, a paint, a shop, a video, a paint, a shop, a video, a paint, a sculpt, a shop, whatever, you know, like I need to figure something out with it. And that's not obviously not helping helping get videos out with any real frequency either. You know, what are you gonna do? Anyway, what I was thinking with regards to all of that is maybe, I did a live stream not too long ago, the hobby hangout. I'm fairly certain if I did one of those again, then that would be a way of, providing a video, an update, all of that sort of stuff, and engaging in my hobby at the same time as engaging with people who are watching. And I don't even want to really say like do a Q&A, because I don't really feel like there is anything that people want to ask me. I mean, by all means, if there is, like, drop it in the comments below. If I'm doing a live stream, talk to me, ask me questions. I don't mind, but I don't think of myself as like a particularly valid font of knowledge with regards to this. Like, I don't know. I can certainly give tips on, what it's like to try being whole foods plant-based while other people in the house aren't, or while you're running around trying to look after a small child. What it's like having temptation of snacks and things like that you're not meant to eat. But no one really wants to know about those things, because most people aren't in that position. Most people are in the position of, oh, well, I live alone, or me and my partner are doing it at the same time, or, I do all of the shopping, so I just don't buy the rubbish that is usually lying around, like people don't have to worry about that sort of thing. I don't know. Anyway, what I was going to do was obviously talk about that yesterday, because I didn't want to just schedule a live stream, because then no one turns up for it. I wanted to explain everything beforehand and sort of give everyone the background, and then talk about maybe I'll do a live stream. Because then you're sort of caught up and you don't have to watch the live stream. You can if you want to. Yeah, you get the idea. I didn't want it to just be coming in out of the blue and doing something out of the ordinary. I wanted it to be do a video, explain everything, and then do the thing and trial stuff. So, there you go. Dearie me. Fun fact, another side effect of this entire thing with my brain is I find it really hard to stay on topic and remember exactly what it is that I've talked about previously, which means that I have weird conversations a lot of the time, and explains quite a lot of the rambling and going off on tangents all the time. It is definitely solvable with medication, but talking to someone and getting that medication is very, very difficult in the middle of a pandemic, because I don't want to strain resources that other people have, and, trying to figure out like some sort of doctor's surgery that I can go to that also speaks English in the middle of Germany is quite difficult. So, yeah. Right. That is everything. That is absolutely everything that I wanted to talk about, that I needed to talk about. You've got the full sort of update. At this exact moment in time, I'm doing okay. I am slightly manic. There's a lot of nervous energy and stuff like that going on. For the past 3 or 4 days, I've just been talking like this, just rapid fire running through stuff. Devoting an awful lot of time and attention to things that probably I shouldn't be devoting time and attention to. But such is life. So anyway, now you're updated. I've covered all the bases. I will probably schedule some sort of live stream within the next couple of days. I don't know exactly when. Maybe Sunday, maybe Monday. I don't know. I'll need to figure it out. Maybe talk with Seguda about it. And then, yeah, I'm all yours. And you can talk to me and ask questions and all of that sort of thing. And I don't know, we'll maybe even just treat it like I did the last one. We'll just sit down, relax, talk about anything that you like, and just do something a little bit out of the ordinary to just relax. do some drawing, do some knitting, do some painting, all sorts of things. So, right. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm really sorry that the video is massively long, but, you know, these things happen, especially when you're doing a catch-up of many weeks. I will see you next time. I don't know exactly when that's going to be, but hopefully sooner, a shorter gap than between the last video and this video. I am still here. I'm still fine. I'm still plugging away at everything. I hope you are too, even with everything that's going on. So, right. Thanks very much for joining me. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.